All right, let's pray even as we start the class now. Father, we thank you for this period you have brought us into. We ask that you give us understanding of everything we are going to learn today in Jesus' name. In Jesus' mighty name we are praying. Amen.
Amen.
All right, looking at the little time we have left, we are going to just look at the previous class we had on YouTube. So we are going to discuss it now. In the next class, then we go into what we are supposed to do today. So once again, you are welcome to this class. Can you see my slide? Iguisi, can you see the slide? Iguisi, can you see the slide? No. Iguisi, can you see the slide? All right. Our topic for today is going to be freehand drawing, sketching of hand tool. Freehand drawing, sketching of hand tools. And that was the topic we discussed last week. I don't know how many, if you're able to download it and listen to it. Iguisi, if you're able to download it, just wave your hand, let me know. Were you able to download it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So the topic is freehand sketching. The content A is principle of freehand sketching. And the second content is freehand sketching of hand tools used by builders and engineers. In example are hammers, pliers, saw, caliper, and so on. But for the purpose of this class, we are going to be considering principles of freehand sketching. Principles of freehand sketching. When we say principle of freehand sketching, we are talking about what are those things that we need to consider when going on freehand sketching. What are those things we need to consider when we are embarking on freehand sketching? The first principle is, okay, let us look at what is even freehand sketching, because we need to know what freehand sketching is before we can sketch using freehand. Freehand sketching is method of drawing figure without the use of precision instruments. Freehand sketching is the method of drawing figures without the use of precision instruments. What are these precision instruments? Precision instruments are instruments like scale rule, ruler, compass, sets, squares, and so on. Generally, we can regard it as drawing instrument. It is a drawing without using a drawing instrument, except pencil and eraser. Except pencil and eraser. All right. Now, All right. This practice includes both pictorial and orthographic sketches. That is, freehand sketch can include pictorial drawing and orthographic sketches of engineering components. And those components could be electrical cycle components, building components, and so many mechanical components, and so many other components like that. So freehand sketch can either be pictorial or orthographic sketches. They are drawings that has to be done without the use of precision instruments. Now, let us look at the principle. The principle of freehand sketch. 1, the paper should not be too large and should not be fixed on the drawing board. The paper on which you are going to draw should not be too large. Should not be too large and should not be fixed on the drawing board. That is, it must be movable on the drawing board. It must be movable to the area in which you will be convenient drawing, that you can conveniently draw. The paper should not be fixed. So if you are asked to draw a figure using freehand sketch, you don't need to get masking tape fixing your paper. No, the paper must be what? Must not be too large and must not be fixed on the table. Now, that is the first principle. The second principle is horizontal lines, because you know freehand sketch has to do with lines. Now, horizontal lines are better drawn from left to right. When you are drawing in horizontal, when you are to draw a figure and it entails horizontal lines, you're drawing the horizontal line, you must, it is necessary, it is advisable that you start from left to right, noting the two end points. That is, already you know the size of the figure you are drawing. You know the starting and the ending point of it. So it is advisable you start your drawing, the drawing of whatever horizontal line, from the left to the right. Do not replace the lines. Finish line must be hard and clean. Now, what do you mean by replacing the lines? Now, it's like you have started a line and you are coming to draw another line on it. Remember we said there's when you double line is an offense in technical drawing. Double line is an offense in technical drawing. So when you are to draw a figure, when you start drawing, don't go back to draw another line, to replace the line, to add another line on the line drawn. So that is the second principle. Now the third principle is to buttress that, we say use eraser as much as you need it, but do not try to imitate mechanical drawing. Use eraser as much as you need it. When you are going on a freehand sketch, it is permitted that you use eraser as much as you want, because you are not perfect. I am not perfect. There's every tendency the line may be going offline. So it is advisable you use eraser. Don't try as much as possible to be perfect. Your drawing can never be like a mechanically drawn line. That is what it means. So straight, slight ripples and deviation are slightly permitted. Ripples, little ripples and deviations are part of the freehand sketching. So when you are drawing your line and you notice that the line is not as straight as it is when it is mechanically drawn, don't worry about that, because ripples, those little ripples and deviations are part of freehand sketching. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now the third principle is note the distinction between thick and thin lines. You must note the differences between thin and thick line. Like you know that there are different kind of lines in technical drawing. There are lines we use for highlighting. There are lines we use to show hidden details. Now, when you are drawing a line using freehand sketch, you must try as much as possible to note the distinction. If it's a thick line you are drawing, know that, okay, it is a thick line. If it is a thin line, know that it is a thin line you are drawing. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. That is just what that means. Number 4, angles are quite closely approximated. When you are drawing an angle in a freehand sketch, you approximate it, you assume it. You don't take a protractor to measure the angle, no. Remember that we say it is the drawing without the use of precision instrument. When you are drawing an angle, you assume that angle, even if it is 40 degrees, you assume, okay, an angle of 40 degrees. If you are to draw a right angle, you assume it, okay? Your line, you have the vertical side of your paper, the horizontal side of your paper. Draw a straight line and draw a horizontal line and a vertical line. Once they meet, they form a 90-degree angle. It may not be exact 90-degree angle, but you assume it. Seeing it alone, nobody will pick a set square or possibly a protractor to start measuring the angle. It is an assumed angle. Do you understand? It must be a replica of the original angle. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Iguisi, are you getting it? Can you hear me, Iguisi? All right. All right. The next one has to do with cycles and arc. The next principle, that is the fifth principle now, has to do with cycles and arcs. It says when you have to draw a cycle and an arc, it says use simple geometrical constructions. That is the method of drawing geometrical constructions now. It says draw center line and 245-degree radial lines. When you have to draw a cycle using freehand sketch, it says draw a center line. You know how a center line is, right? Igusi, you know how a center line is. Draw a center line. Igusi, are you with me? Igusi. Olorosi, are you with me? Olorosi. Igusi, are you with me? Igusi.
Yes, sir. It
All
was
right.
network. Sorry.
You said?
I said it was network. No.
All right. Okay, let me come again. But you were able to get the principle number 4.
Yes, I was able to get.
All right. Number 5 now, it says for cycles and arcs, when you are to use freehand sketching to draw a cycle and arc, it says use simple geometrical construction, the method of drawing geometrical construction. Draw center line. You know how a center line is, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then draw two 45-degree radial lines. Then join those radial lines. Is like when you are to draw a cycle now, you draw a center line, draw another center line crossing each other, then draw 45-degree radial lines and join the points using freehand sketch, and your line will come out as it should be. Do you get what I'm saying? Iguisi?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now looking at, all right, we still have time, we can still continue. Looking at freehand sketching of hand tools used by builders and engineers. Now, what are these hand tools? Let us look at them one after the other and also look at how they are used. What are they used for? All right. The first one there is what? Can you see the first one there?
So I can't see the slide yet. The slide has not come yet.
You can't see the slide.
Yes. The slide is still on principle 5.
But can you see it now?
No, not yet. Yes, I can see it now.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is the first one there?
So it's just saying okay. Trowel.
A trowel, a hand trowel.
Yes.
A hand trowel. Now the trowel is used to lift and apply the cement mortar in small quantity. You know, when you are building a house and you need to lay the blocks, you cannot just lay the blocks without a trowel. You need to use the trowel to get the mortar and apply the cement mortar and apply it. So the trowel is used to lift and apply the cement mortar in small quantity. And in this class, before the end of this class, I want you, I don't know if you have your pencil there, I want you to, you are going to sketch one of these items and you show it to me. I want to see it.
Okay, sir.
All right. Now the second one is, can you see the second one?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Float.
Float. Yeah, the float is, have you seen it before?
Yes, sir. I think they used to use it for cement too.
Not actually. They said the float is made of wood, which is used to smoothen the plastered concrete surface. After you have used the hand trowel to apply the cement on the wall, and you have try as much as possible to dress it using the trowel. Now, to make it level, to smoothen it properly, you need the float. You need the float. So the float is used for smoothing the plastered concrete. The float is used for smoothing the plastered concrete. I would love you to, if there's a nearby place where a construction is going on, I would love you to take a short trip there and see all these things so that you get to know them, you get to see them practically being used. The next one is the headpan. I'm very sure the headpan, you are conversant with the headpan, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. So what is the headpan used for, using your own language?
So for carrying cement.
Very good. It is used for carrying cement. You use it to carry concrete to the site, to the particular place where it's going to be what to be used. That's good. So in this class, you are going to pick before the end of this class, you are going to pick any of these and sketch. You are going to use freehand sketch to sketch any of these, and you display it. I want to see it.
Okay, sir.
All right, the next slide now. Can you see the next slide? Can you see the next slide?
That's not come yet, sir.
Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's the next thing there?
Hammer.
Eh?
Sir, earth rammer.
Earth rammer, that's good. Earth rammer. I know possibly you have not seen that. Have you seen that before?
No.
All right. Now
No,
the earth rammer is used to level and compress excavated earth lifted into the work area. Now, for instance, let me explain this to you. Where you are seated now in your room.
By what?
Yes, sir.
Where you are seated in your room now, I'm very sure your floor is tiled, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Before the tile, now there's, you know, in the first place, before after laying the blocks, the room is not like it is right now. Excavated earth will be lifted from somewhere and fill that room. It will fill that room. They will fill the floor of that room with excavated earth. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, after it has been filled, you know it cannot be level. So you use the rammer. Now you compress the soil. You compress the earth, the excavated earth that is moved into that room. You use the rammer to compress the soil so that it can be compacted, it can form a unit. Do you understand now?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
it will be water will be poured on it so that it can, and the rammer is mechanically done. You hit it, you'll be hitting you'll be compressing, using it to compress that surface inside the room, so that the soil, so that the earth can be compressed to form a single unit before it is cemented. Do you understand what I'm saying at all?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen it before?
No, sir, I've not seen it before.
But have you gone into possibly maybe if a construction is going on and you went to this, have you gone to a site and you notice how the floor of a sitting room is before it is finished?
No.
No, you have not gone to any building site before.
Yes, sir.
All right, so, but you know definitely now, if you go, let's assume you want to construct a building. Okay, let me give you an example now. Okay, let's assume in that place where we used to hold inter-house sports.
Okay, sir. Yes,
now, you know how the ground is.
Yes, sir.
Good. Or now, let me say back of your hostel. Let me say back of your hostel. You know the ground is not smooth, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's assume a building is constructed there. Now, after the construction, you know grasses will still be inside even if you clear the grass, you only be seeing sand on the floor, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You find stones on the floor, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Soil will be excavated somewhere, and the sand will be brought into that place to fill the ground to a level. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is red sand. Red sand.
Okay, sir.
Good. You use red sand to fill that excavated, possibly, now let's use sitting room now. You fill the rooms, not to the ceiling level, no, to the level of the floor. I hope you are getting me.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, when you fill it, now you use the earth rammer to compress it. You hit it on the earth so that it can come together as a unit, so that it can form a unit. Do you understand? To get to the level of the floor that you want. Do you understand now?
Yes, sir.
Good. After that, now you now mix your cement with the gravel and cement it to form another layer, a neater layer. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Good. After that, now after you have cemented, then comes your tiles. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So now to compress the first red sand that you put in, that you fill the floor with, you need to use rammer. You need to use rammer to compress it together so that it can form a single unit. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Good. So I hope that is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Good. So the next one is, please, if you can get any site close to your house, if there's a place where a building is going on close to your house, go there and find out these things so that you can see them and get yourself acquainted with them.
Okay, sir.
Now the next one is scratcher. I know this one is strange. You have not seen this one before.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now the scratcher is used to provide good bond between the first coat and the second coat of a plastered surface. Now, when you are plastering a house, you know what plastering a house means?
Yes, sir.
Good. When you are plastering a house, now the first one you apply when you use the hand trowel to lift the mortar cement and plaster it on the wall. Now, when the first one is the first coat, when you cover a surface, do you understand now?
Yes, sir.
Now, with the first, you plaster the wall roughly. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you plaster the wall, when you apply cement on the wall to plaster it, now because you are still coming you are still coming with the second coat, we call it coat. When you are coming with the second coat, so that the first and the second coat can form a strong bond. Do you understand? Now you scratch it.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand? You scratch it using the scratcher. Do you understand? You scratch the surface
Yes,
of the
sir.
first coat using the scratcher. Then so that when you are applying the second coat, it can stick well. It can form a formidable bond. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that is what the scratcher do. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Good. So the scratcher is used to scratch the first coat so that the second coat can have a good bond with the first, with the second bond can have a good bond with the second bond.
Cool.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now let me explain something to you. Do you know why the cement is able to rest well on the cement after erecting a building? Because the surface of the cement is rough.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So when you apply the first coat, it will hold well. It will form a good bond. So the second coat also needs a rough surface for it to form a good bond too with the first coat. So that is the reason for scratching it. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Good. So the next one, I know this you have seen very, very well. And the next
Yes,
one
I've seen
is
it.
what? The spirit level.
Spirit
Have you seen
level.
that before?
Yes, I've seen it.
Very, very good. So the spirit level. So where have you seen that and how is it being used? I want you to tell me.
I've seen it in physics lab, and
Very good.
so Mr. Etchi explained to us that it's used to determine the stability of an object.
The
Stability of an object.
Very good. That's the word. The stability of an object. That's the word. Then again, in building, it is used to check the level, to check the level of the plaster of a surface. It is used to check the level of a surface to see if they are on the same level. If the surface is on a flat level. Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
All right. My time is almost rounding up. We may not be able to end this, but in the next class, we'll continue. So I want you to quickly sketch any of the few ones you have mentioned. Sketch it and show it onto me. I want to see it.
Okay, sir.
I'm
I
giving
don't
you.
have pencils, so I
But do
use
you have
biro.
biro there?
Yes, I use biro.
Yes, sketch it with biro and let me see it. I'm giving you 30 seconds to do that. 30 seconds.
How many? One.
Just one.
Okay, sir.
Olorunsi, are you in the class? Yes, your time is almost.
Yeah. I want to see my uncle. No.
Yes, Igusi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, let me see how far you have gone. Egusi. 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 He has gone.